but I did get to pick and actually use a chapter title as the title of the book, and then change that chapter's title. So it's still my title, and actually now I look at the book, and after the editing process, it is not Good God Buried Alive. It's not so different from the first draft, but it's where things come back now. So it's really strange.
Well, there, look, you over there.
Well, I have a question for David Remington, who I can't stop pronouncing Leviathan.
I'm totally writing a book called Westerfield. So we came up with our Will Graysons completely independently of each other. On lowercase Will. And so what was interesting though is I think both of us were very conscious about the fact that the other one was writing the first chapter. And so my Will Grayson absolutely was me actually writing a character that I knew that John would choose to write. And I think John, went certain places because he knew he was collaborating on a book with me. So I think we did, in some subconscious or lightly conscious way, inform each other. But at the same time, it's not like we sat down and I was like, I'm going to take this character who's sort of gay and depressed and lowercase and angry at the world, et cetera, and you should do this guy who's unlucky in love and has this big gay best friend. And we didn't sit down and do that. We just wanted to, because our characters didn't know each other in the beginning, we didn't want to know the other one's character in the beginning. So how do you all feel about collaboration? For or against it? Do you think collaborative novels should be banned?
I think it sounds awesome. I have not done it, but I would love to do it, if only to just kind of have, number one, a deadline, someone else waiting for me to give something to them, but also to have someone to bounce things off of, because I think being an author sometimes can get really solitary, and yeah, it would be really cool to work with someone and go back and forth, so hopefully one day.
Same.
Go ahead.
Okay, so in the introduction, you started out with a lot of reviews of your books. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the significance or lack thereof of reviews to your books, how you respond to them, how you feel about them.
I respond with Haagen-Dazs ice
Do you guys actually read your reviews? Maybe let's start with that. Do you?
I read the real reviews, but I don't read like all the blogs and everything because I can't take it. I'm very sensitive, so I do read the real reviews, but not everything that's written about the book. I can't take it, especially when I'm trying to write something else.
mean, I treat it numerically. I take every review as one person's opinion, and I take every award as a total person who leaves opinion. And again, I take anybody who emails me as one person's opinion. I take anybody who posts a blog as one person's opinion. And again, it's not like I keep track. I'm like, oh, one pro. So I find it interesting. I mean, I'm always curious to see what people think about my work, but I genuinely don't weight one more than the other. I think they're all individual opinions. And so I think that is very freeing, and I think that, luckily I was an editor before I was an author. And so I knew what perspective to bring to it when I got into it, because I think when you first do it, you're like hanging on every word, and I think the danger is, and I think most of the people who say they don't read reviews, the danger is you will internalize it, and I can see how that happens, and one person says something to you, and suddenly it takes on this whole weight that doesn't matter. I mean, again, it's like, to use a facile argument, it's like if one person is like, yeah, that shirt looks kind of bad on you, and like 10 other people compliment you on the shirt, you're not going to remember the 10 other people. You'll never wear the shirt again because one person said it looked good on you. And I think reviews can be that way too, that the criticism will stay alive, and you have to fight giving it more weight. But again, I think as much as the criticism can weigh you down, if it is negative criticism, the positive criticism or the positive words and the kind words, again, whether they're emailed to you, whether they're posted, whether they're in Publishers Weekly or the New York Times, that can buoy you up too and be very inspiring. Not necessarily because you think, oh, this is the word being handed down, that this book is good, but it means that somebody read the book and liked it. And that's always inspiring.
Yeah, I'll be really honest and say I definitely read every review I come across, and I have a Google alert, so. But if I see that it's bad, I'll just click away or like skim it and just especially, I mean, sometimes I like to look at like if there's constructive criticism or like I wish this or whatever, then I'll look at it a little more carefully. But it's true, like all the bad stuff stays with you. You know, it's definitely what David was saying. And the good ones I read over and over. So yeah.
I had the experience with Stupid Fast that the first review that came out that was Publishers Weekly was wickedly bad. It was wickedly bad. And it hurt my heart real bad, you know, and I thought, this is it, it's all over. And the person seemed to misread the book so much that I wanted to somehow call him out and say, how could you said that he's mentally ill? That's impossible. There's no way. But it was so bad, and after I got a couple of good ones to make me feel better, now it's something that I click on and it makes me kind of laugh. It makes me giggle. So, I mean, it's there, and I don't let go of that stuff, and I also have a Google alert, and man, I know, we are gross human beings.
Yeah, and just, I mean, same here, you know. I've probably read every single review that's come out. I'm new, so I get to do that. And say, well, I'm new, I can read all of it. But, you know, Mom's actually a little bit of the opposite of your situation, where it was like, the first couple of trade reviews were a lot better than I expected, I think. And then I started, you know, going to places like Goodreads. Very quickly, people like David Levithan said, you should never go there. Doesn't matter, I still go there. It's awful. And so I think it was when I read the 8-paragraph dissertation that was titled Reasons Why I Knew I Wouldn't Like This Book When I Started It. I think that's when I realized that I had to sort of, as David said, put it into perspective and count every single one as how each individual reader likes it. You know, I see movies a lot that my friends love and recommend and I absolutely hate. And the same thing happens with books. And if everyone likes my book, then I don't really know the point anymore. You know what I mean? So you know, reviews, they can be as important as you let them be. But they can definitely help boost your confidence, especially being new to the field. And you see that, well, you know, people are responding to that part that I wrote.